What's up everyone? Welcome back to the Cyber Union YouTube channel. This is where we get to meet and greet all our new faces in cybersecurity. We help you guys learn and get onto the path of success. So we focus on the cybersecurity analyst track and those looking to get into a little mischief in the pen testing track. Those are the types of information we put in our videos here. So if you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. The use right here on YouTube lets us know you're liking what you see, and then we should keep doing it. So make sure you do that. For those of you in the Charleston area of South Carolina next month, check out the B-Side Cybersecurity Conference. But if you're not in an area, don't worry. There's probably a B-Sides close to you. Check it out. Support your local cybersecurity efforts. Alright, so let's get going. This week we're going to talk more about web applications. In particular, we're going to take a step back and understand what it's all about. What exactly are we testing? We're calling it the 3 dimensions of web application pen testing. So stay tuned, all that will be coming up right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and get going. We're going to do things a little bit different this week in our video because I'm learning a little bit more about producing these videos. So we're going to go between takes like this and stuff on the computer so we can show you what I'm talking about. So the 3 dimensions of web application pen testing. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that we're testing it from 3 different perspectives. Let's start with the first one. When we're testing web applications, we're testing the server as a file server, because truly that is what it is. When you're requesting a page or a picture, it's just serving you up the resource that's probably stored on its server somewhere. And we have to test for other resources. Maybe we do that through spidering with our transparent proxy like Burp or Zap. Or we're doing it with a brute forcing tool like we saw in our last video, dir-b, where we're brute forcing files. And these are typically configuration files that are left with world readable permissions. And think about that word I just said, world readable. What does that sound like? Those sound like permissions on an operating system to me. And that's exactly how we're testing. We're looking for files that have misconfigured permissions. So maybe things that we shouldn't have access to that we do. And these can in fact be configuration files with passwords and usernames sometimes. Or just more information about the software running on the system. So like I said, I already mentioned a couple of those tools. We'll bring them up right now. Alright, right here we are looking at dir-b. We looked at it last time, but let's take a closer look with an explanation. Let me speak properly for you. So again, we are brute forcing files with this. And one of the arguments we give it is a list of strings. So these are possible leftover configuration files for us to find. And it's going to go through it kind of like a brute forcing tool for passwords like John the Ripper, right? We feed it a list of possible guesses and it tries them out to see if it exists. And we get results back. It'll tell us if we're getting a 200 or 500 and something, and it's letting us know whether it's there or not. So this is giving us more surface area. That's exactly what we're doing, is we're trying to determine what our attack surface area, because we're not really launching attacks right now with this reconnaissance tool. We're looking for things we can attack. Same with spidering. We're looking for things that are actually linked on the website. So let's actually switch over to Zap. Alright, so this is Zap, and we looked at it again the other week. And Zap is basically clicking on all the links automatically for us and following them to see what they are. Now just keep in mind with this tool, we want to make sure we provide it a scope, and we can limit it to a domain. So even though it's got a link out to Google, maybe Google Analytics, right? We want to keep it on this domain that we have permission to test. So we can do that in Zap, and we can also do it in Burp. So make sure you do that when you're testing. Now I just wanted to show you quickly what it looks like, and this is it. And basically we get a huge list of pages that we can continue to manually test and poke and prod ourselves. So that's it for that tool, and if you want to know more about either one of these, let us know in the comments. Another thing we want to keep in mind with this, testing it as a file server, is that we can traverse through the directories in our URL. And so we can go forwards and backwards and look for other files in the directories that may not be linked to. So there may be some goodies in there as well. And of course, don't forget to check out the robots.txt. All right, the second one is going to be code. We're going to be looking for code problems. I mean, it is a web application after all, so that means it has code. And the great thing about it is we know it was written by someone, and that someone was probably human, and all humans make mistakes. We are bound by that finite thing called time. So usually there's portions that are rushed. And I can guarantee you every set of code has issues, we just have to find them. So let that sit in the back of your brain as you learn more. All right, some types of issues we may find is where the user can provide input, and that input's not sanitized very well, which results in attacks such as SQL injection, where we can manipulate the database, or cross-site scripting, where we can force some behavior in the user's browser. These are both pretty impactful findings themselves. And again, they result in the user's input not being sanitized properly. Now, they're just two basic examples, and there's tons more. And I would encourage you to check out the OWASP top 10 found in the notes below as well. There's tons more there, check it out. Now, some tools we can use to find these are, of course, manual method testing for these. Again, using the OWASP as a guide, they have great examples for testing. Or we can scan it with our transparent proxies. Let's hop into Zap real quick and check out the scanner there that can identify some of these problems. So as you can see, the scanner just automatically finds some things. But always remember that none of this stuff is real until we can validate it by hand. You're going to get a lot of false positives with any tools that are automatic. So we need to make sure we attempt to do it by hand and see what happens. If you do it by hand anyways, that's the only way you're going to be able to turn that possible vulnerability into a successful attack, which is the whole point. So make sure you truly understand what you found and pivot into a successful attack. All right, number 3, guys, hang in there, we're almost done. Number 3 is that we're abusing the protocol and service itself. Yes, we are messing with HTTP, HTTPS, the service, and how it's defined. So it is defined somewhere, the expected behavior between the client and server. This is actually what makes the entire internet work. And there's some kind of implicit trust there, and that's what we're abusing. We're manipulating things such as the methods, the data, the cookies, all these things we're abusing because of the trust there in the protocol. Not only that, but we're also abusing it from a web application coding perspective as well. So this kind of ties in too. You know, there could be an issue with the way the cookie was formed from the server-side code. There could be an issue with the way it accepts the data. Again, issues with the server-side code. And all this ties into how we can manipulate the packets we're sending back to the server and hopefully get a response that tells us the attack was successful. Again, we can use the transparent proxy to do all this. Let's take a look at Zap and look at us capturing one of our packets. So here it is, and I encourage you to dig in a little bit deeper into the different areas here. What does a packet consist of? What does a reply look like? Dig into that, find some more information. We're going to put a note down below with some links for you to continue that journey. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoy the new way we're doing these videos. I hope you got something more from this video yourself and that your journey is going well and you're having a blast. We're always happy to have more people in our industry. Please provide us feedback in what you liked and even what you didn't like, and let us know if you have any follow-up questions after seeing this content, and we can release a blog or another video to give you that information you need, or at least point you in the right direction in the comment, right? So also bear with me with any comments. I work a couple of full-time jobs, so it takes time for me to get back to you sometimes, hence the delay in video as well. Either way, we'll get back to you at some point. Enjoy our content, and we will see you.